Chapter 3 of Hero. They made it home just in time for dinner. At the sight of his parents' car in the driveway, Ben felt a twinge of uncertainty in his gut. On the ride home, with Hero trotting alongside his bike and Scout tucked into the front of Ben's sweatshirt, Ben had gotten pretty comfortable with the idea of bringing the puppy home. It wouldn't have been right to leave the tiny dog there alone at night. And clearly, Hero wasn't going to allow that to happen. But now what? He had no plan. In fact, he hadn't thought this through at all, beyond getting home on time. What would they do with Scout? Would his parents even let him bring the dog inside? What are the parents going to do?
Keep them.
They're going to let him keep him?
Mhm.
Are they going to be mad?
But would be happy that they have a new dog.
Be happy that he didn't leave the dog out there by himself?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll think that's good?
Mm-hmm.
Ben hopped off his bike and dropped it on the front lawn. He raced up the walkway, carrying Scout under one arm in a football hold. Nervously, he opened the front door. His dad was in the kitchen cooking dinner. He heard the clatter of a pan lid and his dad muttering, "Ow, that was hot."
This is making me think dads don't really fix dinner. Moms do.
Is that true in this house?
Yeah.
You fix a lot of the dinners. How about your house? Who fixes dinner, your mom or your dad? His sister, Erin, sat at the dining room table, clutching a crayon in her pudgy little hand. Erin and Ben were 6 years apart in age, but they looked almost identical with the same freckles, light brown eyes, and curly brown hair. His mom stood in front of the couch in the adjoining living room, folding laundry into neat piles. All three of them looked up and immediately spotted Scout in Ben's arms. Erin
Ben.
jumped out of her seat and ran toward him, squealing, "Puppy!" at the top of her lungs. Hold on, I gotta get comfy. Ready, Abs?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Oh! His mom mouthed in surprise. His dad squinted as if trying to decide whether it was a real dog. Scout started to tremble with fear in Ben's arms.
Do you think his dad should have glasses or no glasses? But he squinted, so that means he needs to have glasses.
Oh, could mean that.
Mm-hmm.
He looked around anxiously, taking in all the new faces and sounds and smells. Erin held out her hand to Scout, who sniffed at it nervously. "It's okay, boy," Ben said softly, patting Scout's head. "That's just my kid sister. She won't bite." Erin stuck her tongue right out at Ben.
Who?
The little sister.
Oh, yeah.
Ben looked to his mom and saw a glimmer of appreciation for Scout's cuteness cross her face. He held Scout out toward her. "He's a little nervous, but he's really sweet, Mom. You want to hold him?" "No, thanks," his mom replied, shaking her head. "At least not until he's had a bath and a flea dip."
What does that mean?
Dip him in like soapy water to get any fleas off him.
Oh, yeah.
Because she can see that he came from the outside and he's all dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad said with an amused expression on his face, "What exactly are you planning to do with that dog?" Ben didn't know where to start. Hero and I, Scout was all alone. The puppy was all alone. We found him in the woods at the park. Hero wouldn't let me leave him alone. Hero really liked him right away. He's such a little guy." His dad nodded. "He is. He's just a pup. A really cute pup." Ben's dad walked toward them. He was tall, well over 6 feet tall, and he towered over Ben and Scout.
Well, hold on. What are you gonna think Scout's gonna think of when the dad's hovering over him?
Like a 6 foot tall giant to a tiny little puppy. Do you think it's going to scare him?
Yeah.
I think so too. Good question, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Scout tried to push himself backward in Ben's arms, like he was trying to get away from his dad. It's okay, Scout, Ben said softly. Hero stood up on his hind legs and put his front legs in Ben's arm. He licked Scout on the face, soothing him. Scout immediately relaxed in Ben's arms. Hero really does like him, huh? Ben's dad said. He studied Scout carefully. Ben's dad loved dogs. He was the best office in the K9 unit. No, I'm sorry. He was the best officer in the K9 unit. Ben could tell that his dad wanted to keep Scout too, but Ben's mom would be the ultimate decider. He's got some bite marks on him, Ben's dad said as he ran a gentle hand over Scout's trembling body. His wounds are consistent with the other dogs we've found in the town lately. I'll bet my next paycheck that this little guy is part of the same fighting ring. I was afraid of that, Ben said. So, can we keep him? He held his breath and looked at his parents. He hadn't realized until that very moment that he actually wanted to keep Scout. He already had one dog, and now he wanted two. Ben saw his parents share a look. Erin bounced up and down on her toes, practically bursting with excitement. Scout let out a hungry whimper in Ben's arms. What did you call him? Ben's dad asked. Scout, Ben said, kind of embarrassed, because he reminds me of Hero. Honey, Ben's mom interrupted. Let's talk this over, please. She smiled and shook her head. Ben's dad shot her a sheepish look. Well, take Scout out back and hose him down while your mom and I discuss what to do with this little puppy, his dad said.
So they're obviously out in the country with a... It kind of sounds like they're out in the country with the baseball fields. It's kind of like in the country, or like... Usually they don't let dogs... Usually in the country they make dogs hose. Instead of in the bathtub is a form, and it's already like the form like...
So you're feeling like they must have a lot of property around them because they're hosing them off outside instead of in the bathtub? Ah, could be. Sure thing, Ben said, happy that his parents hadn't given him an outright no.
Yeah, like somebody I know.
That would be me.
And my dad. Yes.
There are some old towels and Hero's dog shampoo in the laundry room, Ben's mom called after him, as Ben and the dogs headed outside. Thanks, Mom. Ben gave Scout a scratch behind the ears. Can I help? Erin asked. Sure, Ben said. Come on. Ben had never given a puppy a bath before. It was more like the puppy gave him and Erin a bath. They hosed him off as best they could, then stepped back into the kitchen half an hour later, dripping wet and muddy from chasing the slippery dog across the lawn.
See, it means muddy because there's dirt and stuff, so that must be out in the country.
That's a country yard instead of a manicured suburban home?
Yeah.
Good thinking there, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least Scout was clean and wrapped in a snuggly towel. Upstairs, Ben's mom commanded them both with a laugh. Get those wet clothes out of here. Ben put the pup down on the floor, and Hero immediately walked over and lay down next to him. When Ben came back downstairs in dry clothes, he found his parents watching the two dogs on the floor. Hero had his front paws stretched out in front of him, and his ears pricked forward on alert. Scout leaned right against Hero's side and licked himself. The downy puppy fur on the backs of his ears stuck out in all directions. I'm surprised that Hero is so attached to this puppy, Ben's dad said. I've never seen him like this before. Yeah, Ben said. He wasn't going to come home without Scout. He made that pretty clear. Well, Ben's dad said, Hero's not going to like this, but your mom and I have decided that Scout needs to go to the shelter tonight. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Do you think they're really going to take him to the dog pound?
No.
Come on. Ben's heart sank. Then tomorrow, his dad went on, when I get to the station, I'll see if anyone's filed a missing dog report. There is a chance Scout could be someone's pet, although, like I said, I suspect he was part of the dogfighting ring. If he was, he might be able to help me find out who's behind it and put an end to it once and for all.
Hmm.
Either way, they'll take good care of him at the shelter. But, Dad! Sorry, Ben, it's the right thing to do. I'll run him over there now while your mom finishes making dinner. He leaned down to scoop up Scout from the floor. As he did, Scout skittered backward away from Ben's dad, a frightened wail escaping his throat. Scout had gotten comfortable with Ben pretty quickly, and he had let Aaron hold him right away. But something about Ben's dad terrified the puppy.
Oh, what in case? No, that couldn't be true. But what in case that is his dad is a fighter guy?
Oh, surely. Surely his dad won't be the fighter guy.
I know, but the way he said the way the puppy bounced off.
Like maybe the puppy can read bad behavior when people can't.
Yeah.
But I don't think his dad would be the bad guy.
But he's a police officer, so he can do anything really.
Yeah.
I
I think the puppy just doesn't like him because he knows he's going to take him away.
know, but maybe that's just an idea.
It is an idea because you're making a connection to the show we watched last night of Turner and Hooch,
Yeah.
where the police officer in the show we watched last night turned out to be the bad guy.
Hmm.
So good connection, but I hope that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Hero buried his nose in the pup's fur, comforting him. Ben's dad took another step toward Scout, and Hero stood up, positioning himself between the man and the puppy. Whoa, Hero, Ben's dad said, surprised. It's okay, pal. I'm not going to hurt him. Sit. Hero sat, but he kept his eyes locked on his longtime handler. Scout trembled with fear, but he let Ben's dad pick him up and head for the front door. Before Ben's dad could get there, though, Hero bounded across the room and stepped in front of him. Go, Hero. Hero really doesn't want you to take him, Ben's mom said, astonished. I guess not, Ben's dad replied. That's how Hero was acting in the woods, Ben said, hoping the dog could convince his parents to let Scout stay. Still cradling Scout in his arms, Ben's dad reached for the doorknob. Hero barked at him. It wasn't an aggressive bark, but it was clear from Hero's tone and furrowed brow that he was upset. He started to whine. Ben's dad took a step backward away from the door, and Hero stopped whining and wagged his tail. Ben's dad took a step forward again, and Hero barked. Ben's dad studied Hero for a moment. You're not kidding, are you, Hero? He looked back at his wife. Ben's mom raised her hand in an I don't know gesture. What do you think, hun? Ben's dad asked her. I think Hero knows what he wants, she sighed. It sounds like Scout stays. Yes. Dad? Ben asked, his heart thumping in his chest. All right. All right, his dad said. Yes! Ben pumped a fist in the air. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. This isn't permanent, Ben, his dad cautioned. Tomorrow, I'll figure out where Scout came from, and we'll get him back where he belongs, as long as it's safe for him there.
This is another thing I was saying. Do you know how their house is right by where they found Scout?
Uh-huh.
If the dad could be a bad, I'm gonna say this again. The dad could be the bad guy because the puppy was found right by the house.
Ah.
I know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ben nodded. I understand, but good luck explaining that to Hero, he chuckled. Yeah, no kidding, his dad replied. Listen, no matter how attached Hero is to the puppy, we don't know this dog at all. I know this is hard to hear, but dogs like this, they've usually been treated pretty badly. Sometimes people are awful to animals, and it changes the animal. I know, Dad. Plus, You don't have a lot of time to take care of a puppy, Ben, his mom chimed in. You've got to keep your grades up in order to keep Hero. Remember? He remembered. How could he forget? 2 dogs in school, his mom went on. That's a ton of responsibility. And a puppy is a lot more work than a well trained dog like Hero. Well, I'll help, Erin shrieked. Are you hungry, puppy? She ran for the cabinet, grabbed a bowl, and filled it with Hero's kibble. She dropped it on the floor next to Hero's bowl, ran to her dad, and snatched Scout from his hands. The puppy looked completely confused. Easy, Aaron, Ben cried, cringing. But once he caught a whiff of the food, Scout didn't seem to mind. He went floppy in her arms. His back legs dangled and his tail was wagging. Aaron carried the puppy across the room and set him down in front of the bowl. Scout went right to work, crunching away at the kibble. Ben whipped out his phone and texted Noah. Wait till you see what I found today. He couldn't wait for Noah to meet Scout.
And that's all for today.
End of chapter 3. Bye bye.
Bye bye.